The Checklist Manifesto, How to Get Things Right by Atul Gawande. Hey, welcome to our podcast where we bring you some of the best book readings and discussions to help you learn and grow. In today's episode, we're going to talk about The Checklist Manifesto, How to Get Things Right, authored by Atul Gawande, a renowned surgeon and healthcare leader. This book is a must-read for anyone interested in improvement, innovation, and best practices in different fields. The Checklist Manifesto is a blend of stories, insights, and studies on the science of improvement and how to make better decisions. In this book, Gawande distills some of his top lessons learned through his experiences as a surgeon, pilot, and researcher to show how simple checklists can help prevent errors, improve outcomes, and save lives. In this episode, we'll cover 10 key takeaways from the Checklist Manifesto that you can apply to your work, projects, and personal life. Lesson 1. The power of simple checklists. Checklists are simple tools that help us remember critical steps, avoid mistakes, and enhance our efficiency. Despite their simplicity, checklists can be powerful tools for improving performance and quality in different fields, from aviation to construction and healthcare. The Checklist Manifesto shows how checklists can help prevent errors, streamline processes, and save lives. For instance, Gawande cites the success story of using checklists in reducing surgical infections, where hospitals that adopted surgical safety checklists had a 36% reduction in complications, 47% drop in deaths, and over $100 million in savings. The Checklist Manifesto shows how checklists can help prevent errors, streamline processes, and save lives. For instance, Gawande cites the success story of using checklists in reducing surgical infections, where hospitals that adopted surgical safety checklists had a 36% reduction in complications, 47% drop in deaths, and over $100 million in savings. Lesson 2. Checklists are not silver bullets. While checklists are effective, they are not magical cures for all problems. Gawande notes that checklists work best when they are simple, practical, and designed to address specific issues. Moreover, checklists are not a substitute for expertise, judgment, and communication, but rather complement them. As such, checklists should not replace critical thinking, but rather help enhance it. Nonetheless, Gawande emphasizes that checklists can help us avoid errors of ignorance, where we forget critical steps, and errors of ineptitude, where we misapply our skills. Lesson 3. Use checklists for high-stakes decisions. Checklists can be particularly useful for high-stakes decisions, where mistakes can lead to severe consequences. Gawande argues that checklists should be designed to help us manage complexity and uncertainty by breaking down tasks into smaller steps and enabling us to anticipate and prevent problems. For example, in aviation, pilots use checklists to ensure that they have checked critical systems before takeoff or landing, such as fuel levels, flaps, and landing gear. In surgery, surgeons use checklists to ensure that they have verified the patient's identity, marked the surgical site, and confirmed the equipment and supplies needed for the procedure. Lesson 4. Collaboration and communication are critical. Checklists are not just about ticking boxes, but also about fostering collaboration and communication among team members. Gawande emphasizes that checklists can help enhance teamwork, reduce errors, and promote a culture of safety and improvement. By involving everyone in the checklist process, from pilots to nurses, surgeons to engineers, we can ensure that we have a shared understanding of the task, the roles and responsibilities, and the potential risks and challenges. Thus, checklists can help us improve our communication, reduce our reliance on memory, and enhance our situational awareness. Lesson 5. Customization and adaptation are key. Checklists should not be static, but rather dynamic tools that can be customized or adapted to different contexts or situations. Gawande notes that checklists should be designed to fit our needs, preferences, and goals. For example, in healthcare, checklists can be tailored to different specialties, procedures, or cultural contexts. In construction, checklists can be adapted to different weather conditions, materials, or regulations. Thus, checklists should be flexible enough to help us adjust to changing circumstances while still ensuring consistent and reliable outcomes. Lesson 6. Focus on processes, not outcomes. Checklists should help us focus on the process rather than the outcome. Gawande argues that checklists should not be used as measures of success, but rather as tools for improving our performance and reducing our errors. By using checklists to track our progress, identify our strengths and weaknesses, and refine our strategies, we can improve our mastery of the task, enhance our learning, and achieve better results. Thus, checklists can help us shift our attention from the end game to the journey itself. Lesson 7. Challenge assumptions and test hypotheses. Checklists can also help us challenge our assumptions and test our hypotheses. Gawande notes that checklists should enable us to ask critical questions, avoid biases, and seek diverse perspectives. By using checklists to verify our assumptions, verify our data, and validate our models, we can avoid overconfidence and confirmation bias and reduce the risk of errors. Thus, checklists can help us become more humble, curious, and reflective in our decision-making. Lesson 8. Embrace learning and improvement. Checklists can also help us embrace learning and improvement. Gawande notes that checklists should not be viewed as static documents, but rather as living tools that can evolve over time. By using checklists to track our performance, identify our gaps, and seek feedback, we can accelerate our learning, enhance our adaptability, and unleash our creativity. Thus, checklists can help us become more self-aware, accountable, and innovative in our work. Lesson 9. Invest in training and feedback. Checklists are not just tools, but also require training and feedback to be effective. Gawande emphasizes that checklists need to be adopted not just at an individual level, but also at an organizational level. As such, organizations should invest in training their employees on how to use checklists effectively, provide feedback on their performance, and support their continuous learning and improvement. Thus, checklists can help foster a culture of learning, excellence, and improvement in organizations. Lesson 10. Share knowledge and best practices. Checklists can also be used to share knowledge and best practices across different fields and organizations. Gawande notes that checklists can help us learn from others, benchmark our performance, and discover new insights and innovations. By sharing our checklists and experiences with others, we can promote collaboration, reduce duplication, and accelerate progress. Thus, checklists can help connect us, inspire us, and transform us into global learners and problem solvers. That's it for today's episode on the top 10 lessons learned from the Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawande. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and learned some valuable insights that you can apply to your work and life. If you haven't read the Checklist Manifesto yet, we highly recommend you add it to your reading list. It's an easy, engaging, and insightful book that is sure to transform the way you work and think. Thank you for listening, and please join us for the next episode of our podcast. Until then, keep learning, growing, and staying curious.